Good morning, everyone. This is Angie Schroeder from Pierce High School in Pierce, Nebraska. This is my reflection of Chapter 6 paper assignment. The title, which involves, is Top Students Self-Discipline Trumps IQ in Children and Teens. A little bit about the abstract. The parents, students, athletes, educators, and professors achieve success in many areas of their lives. How do they achieve success? Is it in their genes? Does it come from luck? Does it come from talent? Or do those who achieve success possess grit? What is grit? Grit isn't luck or talent. Grit is a psychological trait that can help you explain why some individuals succeed when others with equal or greater ability do not. That is a statement from Angela Duckworth, her book, 2016. Demographics were collected at Pierce High School. We have a size of 677 students in pre-K to 12th grade. 377 students make up 7th through 12th grade. Our poverty level reveals that 148 out of the 677 students are eligible for free and reduced lunch programs in our district. We have one ELL, English language learner, in our high school. The total number of students in our 8th grade class at the high school is 52. The total number of 8th graders on honor roll is 19, and the total for merit roll is 16. The numbers on these two honor rolls total 35 students, which equals 67% of the 52 students in 8th grade. So 67% are on one form of honor roll or the other. The standardized test used is MAPS. Only one student in grade 8 achieved a 95 or higher on this test. The Nebraska Student Centered Assessment System scores, which was formerly called NESA, disclosed information stating that our students were on track or developing. The English language arts content area average score was 2579. This was the district score, which was 35 points higher than our state score. The content area in mathematics was 1316, and that's 62 points higher than the state score of 1254. Pardon me. Can you tell I need glasses? I had to give in about 4 years back and get cheaters. The content area for science showed a score of 111, which was a district score, which was 9 points higher than the state score. IQ tests are not given or taken here at our high school. The data for High Ability Learners program revealed only one student, and that was a few years back, actually in elementary, and this student wasn't being challenged enough in a regular math class, so he was bumped up to, I believe, a 6th grade or a 7th grade algebra class. Also, this student was not challenged in for higher learning in band. So this student stepped up a few days a week, and he went on to participate in high school band practices. The data and observations seem to indicate that there are a number of students who are not being challenged. It is clearly evident that more students need to be placed in high ability learning programs to entice their effective cognitive and psychomotor learning domains. According to the article, Self-Discipline Trumps IQ, the author states that the most reliable predictors of student academic performance is the strength of the child's self-discipline and not his or her level of intelligence. The article also reveals one of the most compelling finds that middle school, high school students who are self-disciplined perform as well and in most cases better than students with higher IQs who have little self-discipline. The results gathered So the data collected, analyzed, and synthesized disclosed evidence that the 8th grade students in this study appeared to be in a score range which indicates high level learning. The students analyzed clearly exhibited, those students who were analyzed clearly exhibited self-discipline rather than IQ. Self-discipline is a character trait that drives educators, coaches, parents, and students to push themselves out of their comfort zone. The concept known as grit renders those who possess it to display exceptional character traits of perseverance, resiliency, and self-discipline. There are several benefits to possessing grit. Grit means having a growth mindset over a fixed mindset. A growth mindset is characterized by embracing challenges instead of avoiding them, learning from feedback and criticism rather than ignoring it, trying and never giving up versus giving up easily, as well as being inspired by others' successes versus, threatened by the success of others. In Angela Duckworth's book, Grit, The Power of Passion and Perseverance, this discusses a study at West Point where new cadets go through a grueling 7-week training regimen called Beast Barracks before entering their freshman year. Duckworth explored how inner motivation germinated success as a cadet at West Point. She discovered that some people are great when things are going well, but they fall apart when things aren't. The conclusion was, no matter the domain, the highly successful individuals were those who had a ferocious determination that played out in 2 ways. The first was that these highly successful individuals were usually resilient and hardworking. Secondly, those students knew in a very deep way what they wanted. In other words, they had determination, direction, self-direction, stick-to-itness, and perseverance. A person with true grit, as explained by Angela Duckworth, a person with true grit presses on even when passed by those stronger, faster, or smarter. He or she stays the course and runs the race he or she committed to, rather than choosing a different, new pursuit or after stumbling and losing ground. A person with grit lives a life as a marathon and not as a sprint. A year ago, this was interesting. I conducted a survey on grit for 7th through 12th grade boys and girls. Out of the 355 students, I received, we had 355 at that time in high school. I received 155 responses on the survey. 40.7% of the girls and 59% of the boys completed the survey. One question on the survey was the following: do you know what it means to have grit? 62% of the population answered yes. 37% answered no. Another item on the survey included the following: I am diligent, I never give up. 53% answered most likely me. 27% answered somewhat like me, and 19% answered very much like me. Another item on the survey was the following: I have overcome setbacks to conquer important challenges. 49% answered most likely me, 31% answered very much like me, 18% said somewhat like me, and 2% not like me at all. Interesting. These few items were taken from Angela Duckworth's grit scale. If one were to take the grit scale, grit scale survey, the person would receive a score reflecting passionate, perseverance, and self-discipline. He or she sees himself. The findings confirmed that a high majority of 10th through 12th grade, which is interesting, and I like this, grades, boys and girls understood the concept of grit. They answered the grit scale survey items about passion and embracing challenges and pressing on truthfully and honestly. As for the 7th grade through 9th grade, I concluded that they seemed a little unsure of the concept of grit and unsure of how possessing grit is important to success. This study will be helpful for teachers and coaches as well as parents who bring their students, athletes, and children out of their comfort zone. This study provides guidelines on grit and the value of possessing grit. Angela Duckworth created 2 simple equations that will get someone from talent to achievement. 1. Talent times effort equals skill. 2. Skill times effort equals achievement. This theory indicates how people achieve depends on two things, talent and effort. Talent is how fast one improves a skill, which absolutely matters. However, in the equations, effort factors into the calculations not once, but twice. What the equation reveals here is effort builds skill, and effort subsequently makes skill productive. Teachers, coaches, and parents should create a life for the students, athlete, and child by helping grow their growth mindset to build or alter their mindset. Teachers should guide them in repairing the selfishness of a fixed mindset and converting it into a growth mindset. Teachers and coaches should also encourage students to bring out their best, not to settle for being average or mediocre. I've noticed a lot around here, some kids, and it really hits my inner core because I was totally different. They find a setback and they have an excuse, or they set a goal and they change it. And that's not a growth mindset. We as educators can help create that growth mindset, not to settle for being average again and mediocre. Some people settle for that. That's not going to get you that job you want, that athletic scholarship you want, that master's in physical education that you're working for. I'm not going to settle. I'm continuing to go. Here, I had a substitute for my physical education class so I could graduate in May. And the class that was substituted by my advisor was this class, Educational Administration. And I'm not going to say that this is an easy class, and I'm striving my best to do what is needed to be done to graduate. Here we go. Let's see. We need to help students develop mindset to finish, not to quit, to learn from feedback and criticism, to be inspired by others, and to learn from failure, and to press on, and to embrace challenges. That's what is very, I try that in my physical education class, is to embrace this challenge. Don't say I can't. I hear a lot of the word can't. We're trying to change that word to I can if I do it this way. I can. There's many ways to achieve something, but if you keep pressing on, it will be achieved, rather than having that negativity. If you can't do it once, you're just going to quit and find excuses. After the survey and the discussions pertaining to grit, this topic of grit has had many conversations throughout the school and throughout classes to help kids press on. I just love that word, press on. The negativity is it's quite apparent with the youngers, with my younger students, with my older students. They work hard, but they just sometimes just go to the point where it's pleasing to the teacher. Lastly, the most powerful word in all the articles I read was, of course, self-discipline. Most of you have as well. And it provides long-lasting effects, self-discipline does. It predicts academic performance, more so than IQ. It also predicts which students will improve their grades over the school year. Self-discipline as well is highly visible with test scores and honor roll in the 8th grade. Students here at Pierce High School in Northeast Nebraska, the most valuable discovery was that those parents who embedded, trained, and taught their children those beneficial attributes to character development will emerge into successful citizens, will be lifelong learners, and will have the ability to respond confidently to the demands of a changing society. Thank you for listening.